Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Paps, a racing VTuber and artist. Today we are going to be finishing this drawing of Faust from Guilty Gear Strive. So we've already gotten a good start on it from yesterday's work on it. But hopefully today we'll be able to properly finish it. Send it home, if you will. Although I'm not entirely sure how to do that. I'm looking at it now without like the night light that I had on yesterday night because it was very late and I wanted to rest my eyes and I already had all the colors down for shading. I'm noticing a couple of things. So first of all, we're going to need to add a shadow where the stethoscope is, and we're also going to need to figure out how to add the logo eventually, and maybe even like, would it be too much to add another shadow here? Feels like a bit much. I might be able to do something similar to what I did with the gloves and just have a kind of trail on the inside. I think that's going to be the best way to tackle this. Let's do like shrink by 5. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, so here's how we're going to do this. No, that doesn't seem right for some reason. I think I need to limit the shading to the underside of it like this. That feels like it makes more sense. Also, I do need to hang on. There we go. We'll use that area too. Okay, then maybe we can even have a little bit of a thing here. A little bit of shade there. I need to increase the area scaling for this one. There we go. That's going to make my life a little bit easier. Although I still haven't figured out why it does that weird thing whenever I set the pencil to a fixed width, where it just says like, yeah, no, the vector line's going to be a little bit weird for that one. I wonder what's up with that. I wonder if there's an easy fix to it more than anything else. You know, make sure that the vector lines act like vector lines. It'll be rather problematic for me if they start behaving differently. So I'm hoping I can avoid that outcome. Okay, then over here we can go back and start going back at this part. God, I'm so glad that I found the purpose of the 3-bar brush. Like, I've probably repeated it a few dozen times by this point, but it really bears repeating that this brush is cracked at what it does. It's such a simple concept, and yet it's just so useful. It's a lucky thing that I always hoard all of my resources and never ever let any of them go. Much like a dragon. Or maybe one of those dogs that always sleeps with all of its toys. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the shadows on the front of the smock. Maybe we can lighten those a little bit with the 3-bar brush. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling them. Maybe I can use a gradient or something. That might be an alternative to having to go for a full-on line work. Okay. There we go. The loose little pocket, I don't know why, but the pockets here feel so good. It's difficult to describe. There are like some, some components of clothing that feel difficult to figure out, but there's something about these pockets just scratching my brain in a very pleasant way. Like, yeah, I'm thinking about like how to pull them off, but it's like enrichment rather than actual thinking. It's like I'm like a cockatoo with a Lucas Tower, or a raven with a Lucas Tower, or a crow with a handgun. I bet somebody's taught a bird how to shoot. Right, like there's no way some hillbilly hick hasn't at some point been like, "Hey, I reckon we could probably teach this here chicken to to fire the old Remington. What do you reckon?" I think the main challenge with that would be, first of all, train the bird to not get scared by the firing of the gun. In which case, you might need to use. Do chickens become deaf? A deafened chicken. No, but they'd still feel the shockwave though of the gunpowder. Yeah, it's hard to say what would be the ideal sort of bird. Definitely one that might not have the best hearing, and definitely one that generally doesn't give a fuck. I would suggest a cassowary, perhaps, or some kind of larger terrestrial bird. But I feel like then you run into an issue of like a Planet of the Apes kind of situation where they'll somehow surpass human gunplay and become the new overlords of the. Oh, I'm understanding now why this shadow isn't working. Hang on. I need to cut this whole thing out. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I was still thinking of it from a top-down perspective, which is why I was struggling for a bit. Hmm. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, let's see. Let's use the G pen, and we can. I mean, would this one make sense? I feel like it would almost be like this, but that also doesn't make sense. I'm in a little bit of a pickle here. God. Recently, there's been this web animation that got released where, in one of the shots where there's like a giant geyser of water, somebody in the animator who was working on the scene spelled out using the water geyser, "I hate animating water." That just feels like a real good move. I feel like that's something you would notice like in an old like Mel Blanc's Looney Tune era cartoon. I forgot to add that last bit. I got it though. I got it in the end. Hmm. Maybe if I do it like this. There we go. What I might also do is just hit it with the triple line brush for a little bit. This part too. I should try to avoid being afraid of using the 3-line brush beyond the lines here. I can always just get rid of it like this. Over here too. Why not? I'm allowed to get a little saucy with it, a little spicy. Okay. Then let's close up this part in the middle up here. I'm worried that I'm over seasoning it. You know what I mean? I'm worried that I'm adding way too many details in the shirt. But at the same time, I feel like this is the right path. What I might end up doing is that I might end up selecting the color gamut for the shirt and then adding a gradient to it, so it's like a little less dramatic, more towards the bottom. I think that might be a good idea. I can increase the brush size just a tiny bit. No, that doesn't seem right. You'll probably increase the size of the triple bar brush a little bit here. Okay, then over here. Hmm. I want to leave the collar till last. I just want to figure out a lot of these other smaller parts first. Okay. Nice. Then okay, I think the other parts left are this top bit here. What I need to do is I need to find a way to just grab this area. Okay. Then erase this part. Should I maybe just fill in this whole part? No, that does not seem right. It's quite a curious thing. Okay, then you know what I could do is I could add a shadow for this part here and have that just run along the whole thing. That could work quite well, I think. I don't know what it is about the sleeve that's kind of kicking my ass right now. Got it. It's really crazy how you'll grow and develop as an artist, think you're hot shit, and then eventually one day it's all it's gonna take is like a sleeve to trounce you, and then you will know humility once again. It really is a hobby with a lot of ups and downs, isn't it? Well, I guess you could say that about most things in life. God, I have not been able to. The issue is that like I I can also say a lot about my job that it also has a lot of ups and downs, right, in my day job. But it's really funny too because like I'll be I've been thinking a lot recently about this one line from Disco Elysium where like if you fuck up a skill check, one of your skills says like, "Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad." There are no words for how I failed you. And I've been thinking about that a lot recently. Like it really is exactly like that sometimes. And at my job I will be like that for days on end. And then in one day I'll just get so much shit done that it'll be like that it'll do a complete 180 and I'll instead of being like I should be on the firing squad, I'll be like, they should build a statue of me. I don't know. Is that normal for a job? Like is that normal to have as like a career? Is that a common thing to have in your career over time? I'm not sure it is. Like I understand there are moments where you're like, oh, it's so over, and then there's moments where like, oh, we're so back. But then at the same time, I feel like perhaps those are not supposed to be as drastic as those that I've experienced. I don't know. Maybe they are supposed to be. Who's to say? There's no such thing as a normal life. Oh yeah. Speaking of popping off and libations and whatnot, Apparently, there were a bunch of stuff that people were excited for at today's Nintendo Direct. Everybody, the whole server was blowing up, being like, "We won! We won!" Good for them, honestly. I'm never gonna own a Switch, but like, good for them. I might eventually get myself a Switch 2. I am wondering if I should maybe get myself a Switch 2 at some point because apparently they are. I'm assuming. I am sincerely hoping if they don't make the Switch 2 backwards compatible with Switch cartridges, I might have to do something drastic to the Nintendo head offices, or somebody else will beat me to the punch. Who cares? But I really hope that the Switch 2 is backwards compatible with Switch stuff. I'm gonna go a step further and say it should be compatible with DS stuff too. The Switch 2 is going to have not only a dedicated graphics processor, it's going to have an entire on-suite DS emulation software. They're like, we got tired of supporting the virtual library. It's very difficult and we got tired of it. We're just reprinting DS cartridges now. It'll be nice if a DS game wasn't like $40 to buy fucking, I don't know, Baby's Party Dream or something like that. Did you know that those had like completely different cover art and art style in Japan? Yeah, apparently they were like very kind of Precure looking things over in that area, but in the U.S. they got like turned to baby pageant stuff. Crazy work, if I'm being honest. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna put the stethoscope's shadow over here. Okay. One of the things that I hope to do at some point is become much more talkative during the shading stage. I feel like when I'm shading, I'm so locked in that it's very difficult for me to maintain the conversation I usually do. My mind doesn't wander as much. I wonder if that means that I enjoy the shading process more or less. It certainly requires a lot of concentration, so maybe it's a little bit of both. Okay. Okay, so this is going to come up like this. This one's going to come up like this. I'm going to add a few scratches here for the shadow. And over here. That should do it. Just a little bit more over here. Okay. Okay, then the next thing to do is that everything of the. Is that all the parts of the shirt shaded already? It's like I think that's most of what we needed for the shirt. I think. Should use a triple line brush here. All right, let's save our work there. What else do we need to do? We still need the pants, a stethoscope, and the armbands. I think I'm going to do the armbands first because I feel like those I'm going to forget the most easily about. Okay, we can use this darker color for the buckle. We can even borrow this one. By which I mean we can borrow this one. Okay. What? Okay, why does it keep escaping like that? Okay, there we go. Okay, then over here. Okay, maybe we can use a blur brush here. No, that looks worse than with normal scratchy textures. I think I'm just gonna let it hang like that. Although maybe what we could do is we could introduce a few scratches here. No, that just looks strange. Or else, what we could do as well is just introduce some over here and then just kind of keep that going. That might be the right answer. All right, let's use that then. That feels pretty good. Now, let's do something similar for this one here. Okay, then over here. Yeah, we can have a smoother finish on the outside of the stethoscope. Okay, there we go. And a little bit of this. You know, we can have a little bit of both. Just tiny bit of both worlds. I'm gonna call it like a 50% Hannah Montana situation. We're at like a quarter Montana type of level of, I don't know what to call it. Allocation? Allocation feels like a good word for that. Yeah, we're sitting at a 50% Hannah Montana allocation level here. Not quite best of both worlds, maybe 25% at peak of both worlds. Looking at a solid 75, 80 on a good day. Like, we have some of both worlds, certainly, but the best? It's hard to say we got the best of both worlds. I don't know. Would a 50% Hannah Montana situation be the mid of of both worlds, or would it be like just the good and bad of both worlds in such equal measures so as to be almost like evened out? Hi, Cypress. Hello. How is closing out Dream Drop Distance? Congratulations on beating Tron World. Fought a big crab. Nice. Honestly, I've always wanted there to be like big crabs out in space, just so we could have like the world's biggest crab hot pot. And then Nomura made Monstro the whale eat it. That, if you think about it, that's kind of like the Square Enix version of Exit Pursued by a Bear. You know, if you have this giant problem pop out of nowhere, just have Monstro eat that shit. You've got a big whale, use that thing. Let my guy Monstro eat. I never ended up reading Pinocchio the book. Is is Monstro the whale from the book, or is that like a Disney original thing where some deranged animator was like, you know what would really bring this third act of the film together? A real big fucking whale. And somehow everybody in the room was like, yeah, that sounds tight, brother. Let's do that. It was a fish in the book originally. All right. I could accept. I could see that happening. You know, I like the fact that it's a fish, not specifically a whale. I feel like whales get all the big ocean creature rep. Like whales and megalodons all get the like big ocean creature rep. You know, it's nice that who says that a guppy, for example, shouldn't be a giant underwater Well, I guess it would naturally have to be underwater. I don't imagine it would be like above water. I guess a sunfish giant beastie could be above water. I feel like a sunfish giant beastie might be able to hack it as an above water sort of threat. Not for very long. Maybe a lungfish too. I don't know. There are some fish that can walk a little bit. I could see a sunfish flying. Yeah, that's gonna be in Kingdom Hearts 4. That's gonna be one of the starting bosses. You know how you had to fight Ursula at the beginning of Dream Drop Distance yet again? I feel like the big opening chapter boss in Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna be like a gigantic sunfish. No magic, no darkness bullshit. It's just a sunfish who locked the fuck in and got big, got real big. Wasn't there a mobile game about like caring for sunfish? I remember spending a not insignificant amount of time on that mobile game. Just as well too, because that meant at least I wasn't dabbling in gotcha. There are so many times that I feel like I've hit rock bottom, but at least I'm not playing any more gotcha games. Thank God. Like there have been some low lows in these past few years, but at least I never had to follow that up with like, well, enough crying. I gotta lock in and do my dailies. I don't have to do that, and that's a blessing. Every single gotcha player on Earth knows that they've been taken for a mark, but they don't have the courage to quit just yet. The problem is that some gotcha games are actually pretty good. You know, they have decent stories. They have like fascinating character designs. They just have a character that you really like in them that you can't seem to find anywhere else, and that's how they get you. Okay, then over here. I think every gotcha once it reaches a sense of service should be made free forever. That's more or less what they did with the Mega Man gotcha, I believe. They basically released a standalone offline version of it where you could just collect the characters and the gotcha tokens and whatnot normally, like a normal video game. And that kind of kicks ass, honestly. That like if you want to make a little bit of more dough off of your end product after years of service, that's how you do it. Hell, you might even be able to swing a few people who weren't willing to play it originally because it had gotten gambling mechanics. I do feel like Mega Man is perhaps a special case in this scenario because of the fact that it's such a large franchise, though. Maybe it has an unfair advantage or two. I should color in the golden staples. God. Sometimes I see advertisements for that Nike game, right? Where the one where like there's a women with the guns who have big butts and whatnot. And every single time I see that, I remember that one time my friend showed me like the 1-star characters for that, and it has some of the most interesting like futuristic military designs I think I've seen for a while yet. And I'm like, why did you not go with like more of these up in the pecking order? Like, why is like the highest tier gotcha ones like all half naked women when you have like such a diverse range of perverts to appeal to? Like that, like I'm no longer surprised or disappointed by gotcha games having horny stuff in them. That's like the nature of their ecosystem is that they do rely on fan service to a large extent. But at the same time, it's like now, like I understand now that you're obligated to have fan servicey stuff, but your fan service is so uninspired and depressing. I've abstained from Nike so far, but Arknights is drawing me because I enough people I follow talk about it. Hmm. Yeah. I did play Arknights for a little while. I the gameplay never really clicked with me. I basically just like let my guys auto farm and once I got enough materials, I'm like, all right, let's just go back to the story missions now that I can steamroll everything. Because I didn't want to think about like smart tower placements or that shit. Like it took me so long to understand that you were supposed to redeploy some units in that game. Like, oh, I'm supposed to put gravel back and then throw her back in. I see. Okay. One good thing I will say about Arknights is that it does very much capture that spirit of like diverse degeneracy, in that it has ideas that are perverted, but in ways that that don't even register as perverse to normal people. Like they are like tier 3 perversions. I don't know how else to explain it. I myself don't fully understand it, but that's the best thing. That's like the best thing that I can say about it. The most fun I've probably had with a gotcha game is still probably World Flipper. That's like a pinball one, and I still would not recommend it. But it is, like I said, the one that I have the most fond memories with, particularly because I got in like during the very early stages of its release. So for all these other games, it's been like, oh yeah, they've been out for like 4 or 5 years now. Everybody has like this one character. Everybody has like this other character that they rolled for like at the beginning of the game's lifespan that only occasionally comes back during like a special drop rate or something. But for World Flipper, it's like I was there since the beginning, so I basically have no disadvantages. It was kind of nice. Don't do that. I am glad that working on Hawk Sterling, like I think the thing that I learned the most from working on Hawk Sterling is how to make nice metallic shadings. And I need to like maintain that skill because I feel like it's going to leave at some point. This shit does not feel like it's gone bicycle mode memory. Like I don't think that once I've been able to do it, it's going to come back whenever I need it. I think that this one's more like thing that you learn for a very complicated tested in high school kind of memory. Like you can probably do it for a few months after the test is over, but if you don't use it at all, you are basically it's gonna go. It's gonna leave. You're gonna lose it. Okay, then over here. There we go. Do you have any more stitches to do? I think we got all of them. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Okay, we have the belt. We have the stitches. I think the main things left are the pants and the stethoscope. I think that with the stethoscope, we've got a little bit of progress. Oh yeah, another great deterrent for me from playing gotcha games as well, and I feel like this is more of a funny thing, is that my phone is just not good enough to run most of the modern ones. Like, not once have I been tempted to play Genshin Impact. Not because the gameplay looked uninteresting or anything like that, but because I know that if I try to run it on my phone, it would explode into a pile of molten slag within 5 minutes, eight if I was at full battery. So that's a good deterrent. Avoid upgrading your hardware, and you too could be immune to gotcha games forever, or at least until your phone gives out. Okay, then over here. I will say, I do feel like Genshin gets like an unfairly, like I'm not out here batting for Genshin Impact, but I will say like it feels like very much like it's one of those situations where it's not necessarily a bad product, but the fan base has like taken over so much of the internet that now, like, because everybody's been exposed to it to some extent, is like, Genshin Impact. Like, it's gotten to that stage of success where it's like so popular that it's actually kind of cloying. And I think that's why people are like, oh god, that's why now Genshin players are vilified. Because I remember a lot of people were like, oh wow, Genshin is like such an interesting game for a gotcha game. Look, it's like Breath of the Wild, isn't that cool? And now everybody's like burned it with fire. Kill the game. Kill this game. Beat it to death with hammers if possible. It was so fascinating seeing that within like a matter of months. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing for something to be that overwhelmingly popular. Because now an artist can just get a few Genshin pieces together and go to a random artist alley and probably make like a decent amount of cash. I've said this before. I have something of a sort of like ecosystemic respect for people who are like into super basic blonde characters. Like, you people are the ones moving copies. Yeah, if something's overwhelmingly popular, it's no problem to sell a few art pieces of art. Yeah, like, listen, avoid being a mark if you can. But if people are marks, and that's they're the ones fueling the economy, and you have to respect that to some extent. Like I saw this post a while back, right? That says like you should be making stuff for like 30 to 40 perverts at most. And while I fundamentally agree with that, it's also like there has to be a reason why this like wildly popular stuff is so popular, right? There has to be like something driving that. People aren't fools, right? There has to be something driving that. Besides the gambling addiction. In all fairness, gambling addiction is probably a big driver of it, but like, something besides that, in addition to that, surely even behind the gambling addiction, there must be some degree of soul or spirit in it. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to do a dangerous maneuver here. Gonna grab the liquefy brush. I'm gonna try and move this shadow over on the. Ooh, that's. Okay. New idea for how to do this, possibly. Oh, that. Okay, that worked for what I wanted it to do, though, which is what's important. I can reconstruct this part. It, I mean, for a second there, it did end up looking like the sort of thing you would see printed on a Quicksilver tee, but you know, close. We're fine. It's fine. The maneuver has had minimal ecological implications. Let's do 16. How's 16 look? That's fine. Actually, maybe we can. No, that wouldn't make sense. Maybe up here. This works. This is working. I can feel it. I'm not sure how, but it is. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I can even go back and use a couple of these to make more of a gradient almost. Okay, then over here, we can have a little bit of this. All right, that works. Okay, is there anything else we need to do for the stethoscope? The rubber part? I don't know. Is that made of rubber? I feel like it's been so long since I've been near a stethoscope. Doctors just don't wear those things around their neck like they used to. Nowadays, they just carry around iPads and clipboards. No sauce at all. They've forgotten their roots. Yeah, because of woke. Time was, if you wanted to let people know you were a doctor, you're supposed to wear a white lab coat and wear a stethoscope around your neck. You don't see that these days because of woke. God. I mean, the right answer is probably because, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, when you're younger, they're more worried about, like, heartbeat stuff happening, right? Like, maybe if you got, like, a weaker pulse when you're younger, that's something to be more concerned about. But as you get older, that's obviously not going to be as much of an issue. That's not as much of a concern if you've made it this far. Or maybe it just happens more when you're younger because like you expect it to happen, right? Like kind of like how most therapists didn't have those like lean back chairs that you see in a lot of TV therapists' office, but then they had to get them because like the patients expected there to be a big chair. Or like how people are conditioned now to expect that horseshoes to sound like two coconuts clapping together. So if it doesn't sound like it, they're like, "Well, what the fuck? Those aren't real horses. Real horses sound like coconuts." In total fairness to horses, I do unfortunately think that the actual coconut sound does mog the hell out of horseshoe sound, the sound of like horseshoes on concrete. Like, I'm sorry, horses, you're just not beating the artificial thing. Have you ever seen a horse and a coconut together? I think not. That's true, actually. I guess in most places where you'd expect to see coconuts, you don't see horses as often. It's very rare to see a horse if you live in an urban place in modern society. Like even back 60 or so years, even if you were in an urban place, you could expect to see a horse like from time to time. Not everybody had a car, but nowadays you wouldn't expect to see one at all, and that's weird. Actually, it is a little weird because I remember seeing more horses back when I first came to where I live now. Like I remember seeing like a surprising number of horses, and then they just vanished one day. Like I stopped seeing them, maybe because I stopped going outside so much. But like I don't know, that feels a little weird. Where did the horses go? Like surely it's not that I've just stopped going outside so much that I'm missing all the horses ever, right? Like I don't think that's statistically possible. So the number of horses just decline? Is there like a website for like horse sightings in your area? Is that something I can apply to or follow? Secret underground horse civilization. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We don't know what those little hoofed bastards are up to. They got fingers for legs. You can't trust them. You know why they say never look a gift horse in the mouth? It's because their mouth is full of lies. They will tell you sweet nothings as to dissuade you from interrupting their grand schemes of building an underground horse utopia with as many apples and sugar cubes as you could imagine. They're out here building horse Atlantis, and meanwhile we're out here like schmucks battling global warming. It really does boil your blood. You truly do hate to see the horse civilization absolutely just leaving the human civilization in the dust. All building a community center out of salt licks, making sure there's a main brushing station every 3 blocks. They have like good transportation down there too. I've seen it. So, it's like that San Francisco tram but full of horses. They bite the police the stop sign thingy, the little stopping handle that asks the driver to stop at the next station. They bite that with their teeth and everything. Yeah, they have a functional hyperloop. They call it a horse per loop. Conversations that make horse girls angry. Angry because I'm disrespecting horses, or angry because they're upset that the underground horse civilization isn't real. Like a random horse girl just grabbed a shovel and started digging and heard that I was doing a bit on. She's like, "Oh man!" One Pab says GGST collab. As soon as I figure out how to work Unity so I can mod my face over Faust, we're making it happen. Or when I can find somebody that I can pay to do that. I'd really rather do it myself, but I'm probably not gonna ever get off my ass and learn how to use Unity. So that's how it is. Or whatever I'd have to use to mod Faust. I don't know. I don't think it could be that hard. It might end up looking a little ugly though. To begin with, I don't even have like a high resolution model of my head. Remember that I had like a 3D Pabs for a little while that I made out of like 5 polygons, some spittle, and that one website that lets you like auto rig bones. Crazy work, if I do say so myself. It looked like shit, but it worked. Memories. God. I remember I was doing my Fallout playthrough on my old computer, and I tried to use a Vroid that I built of myself, of like my human Pabs in a little showcase, and that was fun. But it was a little disastrous because my computer couldn't really handle VC3 face and also streaming at the same time somehow, which was unfortunate. God, it pisses me off so bad we have basically zero stuff on the market besides VC3 phase and also whatever the hell is going on with face rig these days. Remember how there used to be like a free functional program for you to like put a red panda over your face and you could just have fun with that? And then they were like, now it's worth $800 per day if you want to use it. What are you going to do about it? God. Craziest villain origin story for me is that I found out that a 3D sculpting software that I used back in high school that was online for free called Sculptress eventually got turned into Maya, the 3D modeling software. That was a trip because I had no idea that those guys ever did anything with that. In my mind, it's still just sitting in the back of my old high school computer, just chilling. That's like if you went to a college reunion and you thought to yourself, it's kind of weird. I haven't seen that roommate of mine who never used a shower and smelled like fleas all the time for a while. I wonder what he's up to. And then you get there and it's like he's fucking Jeff Bezos or also Bill Gates rolled into one kind of billionaire homunculi at once. Yeah, imagine the master from Fallout, but it's now like a combination of like the most annoying billionaires on Earth. What the hell is going on in here? We're talking about 3D modeling and the software used to do it. Yeah, don't worry about it, Big Dog. Listen, you came in at a great time. We're almost done shading the stethoscope here. Although I do I say that there aren't a whole lot of options, but the VC3 face devs really are out there doing the most. Right? Like I feel like the backbone of the VTubing society of the VTubing community really is just people who are doing like the most boring ass thankless shit ever and they are just making something that works and is free and everybody can access it. And they are the best and most honorable people on earth. They will for sure see the gates of heaven for it. Devs that maintain their stuff for free and are there for to promote the community are for sure escaping the cycle of samsara. And it's crazy because like those kinds of people are everywhere. There isn't like any subject or interest on Earth that doesn't need upkeep and maintenance for people to get into it or to access it. And there is almost always, without fail, a few very enthusiastic or at the very least dutiful people trying to maintain that ease of access. And it really is incredible. Also, if the people who had made VC3 Face hadn't actually done that, V may not have started streaming, and that means I, by extension, would not have started streaming. So it's kind of like it is very much a sort of Back to the Future-ish situation for me. I wonder who like the equivalent of like Biff in that scenario would be. Live 2D? Pab's handshake, me getting into streaming because of V. She's literally the best because of that, right? V going like it's literally so easy to start streaming. Made like at least 4 or 5 people that I know start streaming as well, and it is crazy. God, I hope I have that kind of impact on people someday. I'm so excited for her VTuber Summer Slam thing as well. I hope she has fun with it. It can be stressful organizing events like that, so I hope she's doing okay. Although apparently now she's on vacation, which is good for her. I might be sounding like a stalker right now. I'm just reading her Twitter a little bit off the cuff. You're a part of it too, right? Am I? Did I get recruited into V's VTuber Summer Slam event? Oh shit! I might need to go read something real quick. I thought I saw. Am I on a Summer Slam team? Did I get drafted into VTuber Summer Slam? Hold on! Oh my god! I retweeted V's thing. I'm not. What? Hold on. Wait. Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Okay. I need to like. Oh my god. Did I like accidentally draft myself for VTuber Summer Slam? Oh my god. Hang on. Oh god. That's okay. Oh my god. You scared the shit out of me. Seafoam game. That's for Art Fight. That's not for VTuber Summer Slam. That's for Art Fight. That was an Art Fight post. One of the teams for Art Fight this year is Seafoam versus Stardust. I almost had a fucking heart attack. Holy shit, I thought I was on VTuber Summer Slam for a second. Oh my oh my days. I'm straight sweating. Oh my god. I need to like drink water. Hold on. But yes, to clarify, I'm not on a VTuber Summer Slam team. Thank you very much for clarifying as well. Let's not do that again. It would be cool if I got invited to SummerSlam at some point. I'm not there just yet, I don't think. I could probably help gas somebody else up though. I feel like I would be a good co-host for a SummerSlam thing. as long as they don't mind swearing. In that case, I might not be such a suitable co-host. God, yeah, we were gassing up V. Anyway, V fucking rules. She's the best. Randomly saying yes to a friend in what you think is an inconsequential convo, only to see your face on a billboard advertising at the event next week. God. I would be stuck in some kind of Seinfeld B plot type Kramer shit like this. I haven't seen a whole lot of Seinfeld, but I do feel like I would be in like some kind of Seinfeldian situation at some point. I feel like it's only a matter of time. Okay, then we're gonna want select this part. God, I really like this texture for the belt. Man, getting to into motherfucking situations. That's what happens to me. Like the thing is, if I'm like locked into something, if I'm just doing something normally, I often don't find myself in situations. It's like when I'm left to my own devices that I find myself in situations. That's the entire concept of Mr. Bean. I could do worse than having Mr. Bean as like a personal aspiration. Mr. Bean had it pretty together if you think about it. You know, he had a fun teddy bear, he had a car, he probably owned that apartment he lived in. Although maybe he rented, I don't know. Nowadays, Mr. Bean's situation is downright enviable, if you think about it. Mr. Bean's dumbling into accidentally joining the next Holostar generation. That's how they got Gavis Battle. I'm entirely convinced that's what happened to Gavis Battle. Also, apparently, a fourth Hololive English girls' generation has hit the towers. I do think. Did I read like am I mistaken, or is that what like the Hollow Justice thing was about? Because I thought that was what that announcement was about. Yeah, we're getting a new Halloween members in a few hours, not days. Like they just dropped this shit, and now we're in it. We're locked in. We're down for it. We're there. It's happening. Events are occurring in chronological order. 3 hours. Oh, this is gonna be. That's crazy. Shadow dropping an entire generation feels like sick work. Oh my god, and they're British too. Aries, have one of the Hololive Justice members be from Wales, and my life is yours. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a trailer, but it's still crazy. Honestly, that would be much more sensible. I should hope they're not just dropping an entire generation. They're debuting over the weekend. Whew. Gonna have their hands full. Was there anything happening this weekend? I feel like something was going to happen this weekend. I don't remember what exactly. Oh, during Elden Ring DLC weekend, man, it's gonna feel like summer, right? You're getting home from work on a Friday evening. You've got Elden Ring loaded on one screen and an anime girl debuting nervously on another. You've got a bottle of pop open. Maybe you've got some of the boys over too. You know, you've invited a couple of your friends for the spectacle of it. Maybe you're playing Tekken or some shit. I don't know. You should make a day of it, honestly. God, during what that is true. All the Halloween talents are going to be streaming it. Getting home from work Monday morning and not leaving my apartment until Sunday night. God, I need a weekend like that. I need to have a weekend where I used to do this thing, right? Where I would play an indie game or even like an actual game. You know, not necessarily an indie game, but I would play a game in like a full sitting. I've done this for Pyre from the Hades devs. I've done this with Katana Zero. I've done this with what else have I done it with? I basically did it with Neon White. Used to do that for Dragon Age 2 when I was in high school. Nice. But yeah, this weekend is basically like the Super Bowl for weebs who like swords and anime girls. Good for them, honestly. I feel like gaming has had a lot of wins over the weekend. You know, like and with the Nintendo announcement and everything. Like apparently today's Nintendo Direct was insane work. A lot of people were very happy from what I could see. So good on Nintendo for giving the people what they want. It's just a week for winners. That's a good way of looking at it. That's good to know. When my friends are happy, it feels peaceful, right? Like when the people you like are having a good time and are excited about something, life just seems a little bit more peaceful. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Metroid Prime 4 in the same direct could kill. Alrighty then, Chad. I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, that does sound like a very strong lineup. I think also like Ace Attorney Investigations remaster or at least compilation for the Switch was announced as well, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for. Since I've known people were waiting for it since this morning when David was basically praying with both fingers crossed that it was going to happen. And now it did, and now the people are rejoicing. This direct being so jam packed when it's the last Switch direct is crazy. I am gonna have to dabble into Switch 2. I'm afraid that's like my thing is that I will never own a Switch 1. I might get into the Switch 2. I might procure something. Hearing that it has like PS4 level graphics as well is very motivating. I don't know to what extent that has been confirmed or if it's just a rumor, but it could mean a lot of big things. Everyone who didn't buy a Switch 1. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Switch 2. That's exactly that's me. I'm the 24-year-old waiter. Wait, no, that makes me sound like I bust tables at restaurants. The PS4 hardware in Nintendo's hands is going to create the most powerful video game ever made. PS4 level strength and graphics. Uy. Muy bien. I like that. I am liking the sound of that. I'm wondering what it's gonna like actually look like if it's just jamming all of that into a box. I wonder if it won't be portable anymore. And if that's how they're gonna do it, but even if that's the case, that'd still be very impressive. I don't see a way you could fit all that on a portable console without it shitting itself in terms of battery life. There's no possible way they drop the portable stick. That's what I'm thinking too. But it's like, then what are you gonna have? Unless like it's only the Switch titles that are like the original Switch titles that can go in portable mode. If it's like that, then I could maybe see it happening. But if it's like just if it's like all everything portable, it's gonna be Well, I wouldn't want to be the engineer who has to deal with that nightmare. That's for sure. I mean, have you seen the actual Switch internals? They were already doing magic bullshit on that thing. That's true. I've never actually seen the Switch internals. Maybe now they're gonna actually have like some tiny warlock in there. How to jailbreak my Switch 2 warlock. A 5-page thread on Tumblr. Now, when you're first jailbreaking your Switch, it can be a little bit intimidating to get around the Warlock's magical defenses and their Thunder Blasts, but it's not impossible. Here's how you can do it. The Switch 2 gimmick is that there's a little Miyamoto in every console. Yeah, just scurrying around in there like the Nintendo 64 Mario. He shoots you in the head if you try to pirate Mario. Mm-hmm. He's like a Nintendo hitman. There ends up being like an entire thread on Twitter about whether it's more ethical or not to euthanize your Switch Warlock in the name of like in the name of like upholding information privacy protocols. Some sick deranged fuck tries to take a bite out of the Warlock and it tastes the exact same as a Switch cartridge. God. See, I say warlock, but I'm more picturing like a gnome of some kind. Like some kind of small fey creature. Nintendo's strongest anti-piracy measure yet is forcing you to break the sixth commandment to jailbreak. What was the sixth commandment again? Is that one straight up thou shalt not kill? Okay, yeah, it is a killing one. Yeah, the sixth commandment forbids murder in the heart and action. Hang on. What would be a console that makes you break the fifth commandment? Fifth commandment of the Bible, which requires children to respect and obey their parents. You also gotta break the seventh and fuck your neighbor's wife? Word? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Unless. I'm kidding! Although maybe. I'm kidding. But I'm kidding! Hey, why is the new Nintendo console nicknamed Project NTR? It is crazy that they had Dolphin as the nickname for the GameCube. I still hold that that's a weird thing to call a console. Imagine if the Xbox One's working name was the Porpoise. Yeah, I'm working on the sequel to the Ouya. We're nicknaming the project fucking Narwhal, the Dolphin Cube. Yeah, people have spread a lot of rumors about the Dolphin Cube, but I find them all to be rather fishy. Okay, then over here we'll add another shadow. What is the funniest thing the Switch 2 could do? I would say the Switch 2 will have a cup holder. Or like one of those pop thingy. You know how some people have like those pop stickers on their phone so that they can hold onto their phone a little bit better and they can, they pop in and they pop out. I've never actually had one of those. I handle my phone rather roughly, so it probably wouldn't stick even if I had one. It would soon be lost to time. and also the forces of gravity. It feels weird. I'm excited for this stuff, which is an odd sensation. Like it feels like it's been a while since I've been excited for this sort of thing. Like it feels like I'm some kind of kid again, and I'm feeling excitement. You guys remember excitement? Optimism, hope. The feeling that the future can, in fact, become a better place with us in it. I remember these things. Wow, pronoia. For real. That's how it is. Like, I don't know. What, like I said, when your friends are happy about things, it's much easier to expect things to go well for you as well. You know, it's like you have the confidence that good things can happen to them so that they can happen to you as well. And it's not even like that. You're just happy because they're happy as well. I think that's one of the biggest unspoken benefits of having friends is that the phrase that joy shared is a joy doubled feels like corny rubbish, but it really is true. Like you see somebody talking with excitement about how they are finally going to get to play this game they've always wanted to play their whole lives on a console that they own and in their lifetime, and you can feel like their genuine passion for it. And it rules. Thank you, video games. I do wonder what the context for that picture was. Like, whenever I say thank you, video games, I am picturing of that one drawing of like a dude just downright a sobbing mess, clutching tightly onto his PlayStation. I don't know what manga that was taken from. I'm assuming that the context is kind of just as it is presented. But I do wonder where it comes from. One of the things that, speaking of context, I've realized recently that I've kind of fumbled the ball by stopping reading Baki at a midway point. Because the other day I saw a friend of mine shared this clip from from the Baki anime where Baki is like eating an invisible meal that his dad prepared while they were in the middle of a fight. And I'm like, damn, I wish I'd read Baki to a point where I could like figure out what the fuck is happening here. Like, I don't need context for it. I know what the fuck is happening. These two are about to beat the shit out of each other. But, like, what? Like, I wish I understood why they just suddenly started breaking out into eating food. Like, it's such a weird state of being. Like, you've dealt with it enough that your suspension of disbelief is now like a sort of adamantine texture and durability where basically nothing can shatter it so long as it doesn't directly contradict some of your established laws of understanding within the context of the series. But now it's like, okay, but how do they get into this one? Like, it's almost like a sort of more curiosity rather than like the abject terror and confusion that most people have. I've never read or watched Baki, so I'm constantly left with the impression that it's not real and the fans are just making all these clips up. I can guarantee you that it's real. I, I'm like the I'm like the dude, the captain in Moby Dick. That's like the whale is God. Like I'm telling you right now, the Baki anime is real. I've seen it, and that shit really does happen sometimes. But I just don't know how this specific thing happened. This just makes me think you're in on the bit. That I could understand that as a reaction, but consider this. If I wasn't on the bid, wouldn't have I said that I just finished watching the whole thing and I was like, man, what a great Baki clip. Everybody should watch that series. No, I'm confused too. That'd be that's like a double pulling. No, the bit needs believability. Are you saying that the bit is almost like some kind of multi-tiered conspiracy where multiple people are like given different levels of understanding of Baki? Nobody ever has the real pieces, so everybody just says, "Yeah, no, I've read Baki." That would be such a tremendous. Yeah, yeah, sets onto us. Yeah, we need to lose them. We need to like send an agent right over there, like 5 minutes max. Like, yeah, no, they figured it out. They cracked the code. We gotta get rid of them. I think it's like that panel from Baki where he makes the USA president piss himself. Yeah, that happens. Actually, I didn't get to that part, but there is a bit where Yujiro Hanma fights Muhammad Ali's son. I read up until that part. Like I read up until the beginning of the Ali Junior arc. Which one? Yeah, Yujiro had met both Obama and Trump. I think he made Trump piss himself. I'm pretty sure it was Trump that he made piss himself. I think for Obama, he showed off that he could make a diamond out of a lump of coal. God, being Yujiro Hanma must kick ass. Imagine if you wanted to punch a guy in your face and knowing that literally no force or human on Earth could stop you. That must be such a validating existence. There's only one equal to Yujiro, and it's the resurrected Samurai Musashi. Yeah, and they banished that guy into the spirit realm. I think I don't remember how. I didn't read up to the Musashi arc, but I remember some bullshit like that happening. Yeah, and their fight ended in a draw. Christ. It's really interesting how certain writers treat like their quote unquote Trump character, right? Like each writer has one character that they would find a way to make win. There's also some characters that they would find a way to make lose. Okay. That's that. And are we missing anything else? I think maybe just a little bit of extra detailing on the scalpel. Maybe with the triple line brush. All right, I think that should do it for like the core. I forgot the logo. Hang on. I forgot like the logo part. The good. All right. Here's how we're going to do this. Select color gamut, this one here. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to grab this color here, which is the closest we have to the red that we want. And we're going to find with the round, maybe the India ink. Huh, that's a weird brush. This one's opacity is weird. Nah. This one's not quite what I want. Maybe the wash brush. Yeah, that's a little bit more like it. Hmm. Okay, and then we are going to do the eraser part, and we're going to use the fingertip smudge tool for a couple of these parts. We're also going to go back and finish and color in a little bit more. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to also grab this part here. Can we get the reference where we can actually see the logo clearly? There we go. Such a goofy little logo. I love it. All right, we're going to make a type of kind of clean looking G. Oh shoot, am I sizing this correctly? Oh yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was worried for a second that I was making the letters too big or too small, and no, I'm fine. Okay, good to know. God, going back to Baki though, it does feel a lot like that one XKCD comic about like people who have like who are experts in a certain field having an unrealistic expectation of like what other people who are not familiar with their field know. Like, as to us Baki fans, knowing that a caveman was resurrected from a block of ice is knowledge that comes naturally. Everybody, but you know, non Baki fans don't know that. They might only know that Baki's dad makes like a weird demonic face when he flexes his muscles, and the great Yasha ape. Yeah, and that Baki's friends with the monkey, of course. My favorite Baki thing is the piss tetrahedron. Can you explain the piss tetrahedron to me? I didn't get to that part, and I'm dying to know more about the piss tetrahedron. Like, I am genuinely curious about. I thought about the piss tetrahedron, but I didn't know what that was about, so I couldn't really say anything about it. He was using his piss to distract four guys he was fighting at once. Holy shit. All right, so now what we're going to do is that we're going to use a blending mode. Huh. Interesting. All right, here's an idea. Instead of doing all of that, hang on. Clip to this layer. We put a blending mode on top of it. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, they represented the points of a tetrahedron fighting him. I see. Okay, I think this guy's ready to go, and now we just need a background. I don't know what to do for the background, unfortunately. That is my one weakness, is that I have no idea what to do for this background. I guess color would be a pretty good place to start. Where do you have this kind of greenish color everywhere? Maybe having a more bright red color might be good for the background, just for contrast. I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it'll work. But I'm going to go for it. So a long time ago, I made a thumbnail for Project Zomboid, and I had... Here we go. Wait, what's this one? Oh, this one's like a city block. Okay. Faust Money Shower actually kind of goes hard, if I'm being honest. Faust Money Halo looks quite good, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't know. Whenever I have whenever I remember that I have like a brush that is just like a spray of rapper album art, God. What would Faust's SoundCloud rap EP be called? I don't know how to do that one. Freaking, I'm trying to like formulate one in my mind. I'm not Dr. Goodfeel. Cypress got it. Cypress got it first try. Why do we have some of these fuck ass brushes anyways? I remember this one was from the meme redraw when I was doing the one for the first day as a second century warlord era. How many of these could I have? Like, hang on. What are the weirdest ones I could put on here? What about... Okay, that's just buildings. We got... Okay, books. That's like nothing. Rubble. That's nothing. Some trees here and there, mayhaps. Do we have like... Hang on. I kind of want to see where I can take this. I'm like intrigued now. Okay, we're gonna need like a radial curve. Or concentric circle, that's the one. Okay, this one isn't spinning the trees. The trees are not obeying the laws of rotation, and I wonder if we might be able to fix that. Brush shape, brush tip, angle. Oh wait, no, that would probably be in like one of the pressure settings here. No, tilt isn't doing anything. Okay, this... Oh, that's not working quite right, I think. I don't know, why is it obeying the ruler? Oh, wait, I have to make it clip to the ruler, I think. There's like a... Anti-overflow, correction, sharp angles. Enable snapping, here we go. I don't know. That doesn't feel like anything, though. Okay, the Christmas ornaments are getting closer, but still not quite there. I need something weird. What's the most demented thing I have in here? What's this? That's like normal ribbons. That's fine. What's this one? Oh, this is one. This is the one I actually came here for. Hang on. I wanted the one that had hands on it. I accidentally ended up grabbing the one that was handprints rather than the hands, but close enough. All right, we're gonna add another one behind here. I'm kind of in love with this weird sort of collage object feature. You know, I'm falling in love with it a little bit. What else we got in here? Hatching. We don't have anything interesting in hatching. For clothing, I think we've kind of run through most of those. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else we could add to this that isn't something that we've already got. All right, I'm gonna keep that for now. we'll tuck that away for our own purposes later on. Now we can work on an actual one. We did the silly one, now we can do the serious one. We've paid our silly tax. Okay. What was I doing? Right. This. Okay. Alright, how's this look? Hmm. The hands being so huge is having unintended consequences. I do think maybe going for the handprints is a better idea. Oh, I forgot where I put them. Is it over here? Oh yeah, there it is. Density of paints, particle size, spraying effect. I need to make the particle size a lot bigger. I wish this brush wasn't so finicky with like the direction that it goes, because I'm tapping the same circle, the same spot every single time, and every single time it gets like a different one. I'm rolling the hand gotcha. And then maybe what we can do is we can just have a darker red gradient over top of it. Know about that. Ooh, wait, hang on. Yo, hang on. This might be it. All right, hang on. We can go further beyond, though. I feel like there's an even better shade of blue that we could use here. Like this more kind of like navy pattern. Now what we do need is to combine these so that we can never lose them. Huh. Unexpected side effect of combining these is that now they also like, hang on, merge selected layers, merge selected layers. So maybe what we can do is duplicate them so that they're stronger on the outside, but then, okay, and then maybe what we can do is we can have another layer back here with a solid fill of that color. Or maybe like an airbrush as well, so it's a little bit more subtle. Just around the arm. Okay, do a watercolor brush. Maybe do that on a different layer as well. Make the brush size just a tiny teensy bit smaller. And now it's got like, it's like a shadow behind him. Or rather, it's more like his shadow is being cast. Maybe we can use a little bit more of the spray paint back here. Or maybe what we could do, if we were feeling rather ambitious, is we could go onto the top of the layer and then add more hands like this. That's too dense of handprints, but not sure about this one. At the very least, we should suppress it a little bit off to this side so it's a little bit easier to read the head. Maybe as well, just a last little touch and having a brighter color down closer to here. I don't know about these colors. I don't know why it's going all Aurora Borealis on me there. But we can work with it. Certainly we can work with it. Actually, come to think of it, wouldn't it be possible? Ooh, I'm kind of liking that pink, though. I'm kind of liking that pink, though. Hmm. I don't know. Is this a bit much? I'm trying to like look at it from a distance. Maybe if I lower the opacity a little bit. Yeah, a different blending mode might help as well. I'm kind of liking that blue. Is there a way to do more? Okay, that's interesting. Hang on. Hmm. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We grab all of this, put it in a folder, and then just maybe duplicate it and figure out and play a little bit with the contrast. So maybe tonal correction, brightness slash contrast. Maybe lower the contrast. No, let's not do that. All right, since that's not working out, how about a gradient map? See, this makes it a little bit easier to see the problem. So there's not, like, if we were to lower the saturation of it completely. Actually, I don't know. That's a pretty good color balance. Maybe the gradient map was just messing with me. Maybe another answer might be to actually bring this whole thing up and then extend this whole thing down. Is that something that would be permitted? Close enough. Let's see. Blend, blend, blend. No, that's just making it seem a little bit blurry. There's probably some other thing we could do to work it together. Maybe the watery ink pen? Is that actually doing anything? I don't think that's doing anything. Fuck it, round. Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why it's not doing anything. All right. Oh, many such cases. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, we just need to sing at a nice 90-degree angle. And also, I think I need to make it a little bit bigger for this to work. Hmm. Oh, wait, I just realized why this won't work. The shadow is all the way up there. All right, my bad, my bad, my bad. Vale retro. All right, let's just stick with the original plan and just hit it with a gradient map of some kind. Might be a good idea to go for the greenish color, since that's already kind of the tone for the rest of the piece. But it'd be nice to get some contrast in there. This one's super funky, actually. I like I like how funky this one looks, but it's not. It's unfortunately not what we need right now. This one gives it such a vastly different vibe that it's actually kind of crazy. This one's almost like angelic. This one does feel very summery as well. Hero route versus dark mode. Yeah. This one is intriguing to me. I'm gonna keep this one locked away just in case. Hmm. Interesting. This one's pretty good. Some of these are so bright that it's a little bit hard on the eyes, honestly. But it's important to have those too. I wonder how some of these look color inverted as well. I'm kind of curious to see. This one looks a little bit way too violent. How do I put it? It should have the feeling of blood, but not actually be like blood. This one is actually really good. I'm liking this one a lot. Yes, I'm gonna save that one. Hmm. Again, this one, and this one are both very similar, but like they both have that really good kind of match to their color. So maybe I can just sort of. How do I do this? This one seems like a good happy medium. Huh. Actually, moving it around like that gives me an idea. A little bit of color aberration on this would go really good. A little bit of chromatic aberration, I mean. Hang on. Can I merge visible to new layer? Okay, so if I grab this, I'm liking this one so far, but what if I do blur, or which one would it be? Here we go, chromatic aberration. I'm really liking that. I'm still not fully decided on the background just yet, but this feels very strong. Let me try to use the gradient erase on this one a little bit. I feel like I'm not sure if I should leave the hand without the gradient erase, or if I should leave only the hand with gradient erase. I feel like having the hand have the most gradient erase makes the most sense. All right, I'll keep that in my back pocket for the time being. Honestly, this one's also really strong. I don't know, the minimalism of it is compelling. Let's keep going a little bit further. This one's interesting because it really emphasizes that like sickly kind of aspect to it. This one is, hey, look, we made fire blue. Does someone actually change it? Oh, okay, it changes the bottom one parts. I think I like this one a lot as well. It's very hard to decide. Is this one particularly different from this one? It's just not as bright. Which I think could be a good thing, all things considered. I don't know, but I wanted to have like some kind of bright part. At times like this, you ought to be decisive. I'm going with this one. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to merge visible to new layer. We're going to do that same chromatic aberration trick. Although maybe with maybe like a slightly more subtle part. Or wait, oh, the angle is interesting. Oh. Huh. Okay, having it radiate a little bit from the eye would be a sick idea. I like that. And then, of course, just a little bit, we need to have a little bit of love for the eye. Blur, Gaussian blur. Crank that to max. And again, how far can we take a Gaussian blur? Like, is there like a definitive ending point for how far you can take it, or do they just like let you go as far as you like forever? As long as you're chill with it. Honestly, I quite like this one. It's a very subtle version of it, but it's still present. I'm gonna go with that one. All right, I think that's good. I'm gonna put my signature on this one. Maybe I should put it in dark blue. All right, but yeah, that's it. We've finished Faust, which is which is extremely rewarding. I've been meaning to finish this one for a long time, and I'm glad that I've been able to do it justice. I feel like I've cleared some of my karma with this. My credit score went up after I finished this piece that have been sitting in my whip folder for months. All right. Yeah, I think that should have ended for today. I don't know who all is streaming tonight. I'm going to end it here. As always, I will be back on Saturday to do a little bit of Yakuza roughhousing. In the meantime, take it easy. I hope you all have a great weekend. I really hope you all look forward to Elden Ring. Oh my god, I'm streaming Yakuza when everybody's going to be playing Elden Ring. Well, such is life. In any case, have a good one, and I will see you all on Saturday. Thanks again to Pearl for the raid. Later. Bye.